If you were able for one day to experience the perspective of a truly active person, you would feel this. You wake up and your body is already buzzing. Straight out of bed, shoes, keys, run. You chase the endorphins down with a huge breakfast. Getting to work, your mind is clear, your body alert. Time flies as you rush to your evening workout, pushing yourself truly in your element, alive. You wrap up the day, ready to feel the bed on your stretched, sore, and stronger body. This is definitely not my experience of life. I've always hated exercise. As a child, I never played sports or wanted to go outdoors. I never even learned how to ride the bike, which I still can't do. And I was described by everyone who knew me as physically the laziest girl ever. I even plotted 7 years worth of physical steps data, which show inconsistent, guilt-ridden movements that range from doing 30 steps a day to forcefully having to move in hospital or work. And it's not just silly things like arbitrary steps and biking, it's the fact that when I'm depressed, my instinct is to just stay in bed, and if I can, I will do it for weeks or even months, which makes everything so much worse. And I've suffered from chronic back pain from genes and also terrible posture, and it has done nothing for my self-esteem to feel constantly uncomfortable in my own body, to feel slow and heavy and sad and useless and lazy and uncomfortable and so embarrassed to have a theoretically healthy physical body and yet to be able to do almost nothing with it. I've always been so jealous of people who seem to naturally enjoy exercise, and it is so difficult to fall in love and to consistently exercise and work out when you've only ever hated it your whole life and you are so bad at it. And I've tried. It's been exactly 10 years ago when I first bought my gym card, and since then I have gone into cycles of quitting and starting exercise again, feeling defeated and yet determined, because I'm sure that there's always been something out there that I just can't seem to get. Recently, I've been working out semi-consistently for about 4 months when I felt that I was getting close to wanting to quit, and I just paused, thought I'd get some professional help, and decided the scariest thing I've potentially done in a while, which is that I was going to do some form of exercise every day for 30 days, determined to figure out and teach myself, if I could, how to fall in love with working out. And it's now been a month and a half since I started this daily exercise thing, and I can truly say that I feel like a different person. I move differently, I walk differently, I sit differently, I stand differently, I even breathe in deeper. My life has truly changed. Now, I'm definitely not an athlete, and there's still so much more on this journey that I want to do, I'm curious to see, and I want to share. But for now, I'm still an absolute expert in someone who hates exercise. And so today, I wanted to share the 4 things that I wish I would have done differently in the whole 10 years that I was approaching exercise, because I'm sure things would have been so different for me. I'm going to be talking about finding the correct type of motivation to exercise, and also goal setting, the things that I believe were the reasons that I was quitting all the time in the past, and also what the elements of genuinely enjoyable exercise sessions are for me now. I'll describe how I accidentally managed to be consistent and stick to a routine when I hate habits. And lastly, I have some miscellaneous tips on how to enjoy exercise if you're an Elizabeth sort of person. A lot, if not all, of these are things that I learned through working with and being guided by Candice, my personal trainer, whom I was gifted by Copilot, an online fitness training coach who are also sponsoring this video. This is a Forbes ranked online personal training service, and I'm sure they'd disagree with me, but I genuinely think it's much more impressive what they've done with me and my body. As a viewer of this video, if you want it, you get 2 free weeks of online personalized training where you get paired up with an expert human on the other side who gets to know you, your goals, your current level, and puts a personalized plan and a lot of technical support on the side, which I'm going to talk about a lot later if you're interested in that. But for now, let's get straight into not hating exercise. As Newton very smartly observed, a body at rest will stay at rest unless a force is applied to it. And if, like me, you are starting from a position of doing nothing, there needs to be a strong motivation or a strong force to induce a change. When it comes to why to exercise in general, my belief is, well, you know, it's common sense is good for you, but the thing is, we're not very good at sticking to common sense things. As Teresa Mattel from Cambridge University very interestingly pointed out, we do stop swimming when we see a sign saying these are shark-infested waters, but we respond very differently to warnings about lifestyle improvement. And I believe that there can be a lot of mental and emotional barriers to doing things that seem obvious if you are healthy. As someone who has a lot of personal trauma around my body image and my self-image, any changes in this direction become automatically a lot more difficult. When I had my first call with Candice, my personal trainer, we talked about so much, but one of the first questions that she asked me was why I was there specifically, and also what my goals were. But the why caught me by surprise because it was something that I hadn't necessarily put that much thought into, and exploring this question with her and thinking about it a lot in my own time, I think really changed my perspective on how to approach exercise and change things drastically for me. So my first huge bit of advice is to find a really strong emotional and personal reason that you want to exercise, which is connected to the sort of person that you want to become and keep being, and also the sort of journey that you want to be on in your life. I'm going to share my own 3 main motivators, which are really personal. My first source of motivation is that I want to be a mom one day. I would be absolutely mortified if I was as lazy physically as a mother as I have been as a girl and woman now. It terrifies me. And also the thought that there is any part of myself that does not want to go out and play with my children honestly makes me want to cry that could be the case. And so it's such a strong motivator for me to think that I cannot be this lazy person in the future. This needs to change, and it needs to start changing soon, is a super strong thing. And also I believe that children learn a lot by seeing, and I want to break the cycle and create a home environment where people respect their bodies and where there is a hygiene around working out. The second reason is that I want to become like the people I admire, and the people I am closest to who are the most mentally stable, the kindest, most balanced and wonderful people all happen to really work out a lot. They have black belts, they do gymnastics, back flips, front flips, they are running every morning. Obviously not all by the same person, but they have such a strong workout ethic, and it's almost a coping mechanism for them. They would be stressed if they couldn't do their morning run, or if they couldn't go to their training or their sparring or whatever they're doing. And it always surprised me, and I wondered if this was genuinely a factor that contributed to their peace. And I just wanted some of that. I want to feel what endorphins are like. I don't think I'd ever had them before, and they sound really cool. And thirdly, I want more of that feeling that I have in those brief moments in life that I've been a bit fitter than before. I know what that feels like. I feel lighter. I have a spring in my step. I'm actually in my body and have a strong connection with my body. I'm very separated from it in the sense that I hate it, I'm frustrated, I want to punish it and like make it do things, and it's so annoying. But I feel like after a workout or after a consistent workout, I feel much more present and centered, and I definitely much prefer that state of being. Even sharing these with Candice was quite vulnerable, I think, but it made us a lot closer. Now, moving on to goals, this was something that I was really dreading when meeting a personal trainer, because I know that they are very goal focused, and I have a really bad experience with setting body goals. In the past, they used to be like weight goals or having abs or having specific kind of desires for body shape, and they end up in really dangerous places sometimes. So I was really scared. I told her this immediately, and we came up with some more reasonable goals that I'm actually really excited about still. I'll go through them in detail. The first is to do the splits because it looks really cool and I've always wanted to do it. Secondly, really random, but I want to squat my body weight just because I think it sounds cool to me and I want to be able to do that. Next is to do a single pull-up. They look so difficult. I have no upper body strength, and this is something that I think would be such a good moment for me to feel that I've come so far from where I used to be. Lastly, and very importantly, is to 1, crave, and 2, enjoy exercise. My recommendation for goals is to pick things that are directly helpful for your life and the kind of career that you have. For example, I have these personalized workouts for after hospital days when I've been standing for 10 hours, or after editing where I've been sitting for 20 something hours a day. And these are really helpful to work out the opposing muscles or the muscles that are used in this context, but also to pick goals for things that sound like they would be cool. I've always really liked gymnastics and things like that. So being able to do the splits, I think, is just a really fun thing. And this fun motivation is a lot better. Honestly, this conversation and exploration was something that I'd never done in such a healthy way. And I would really recommend just pulling out a piece of paper and writing out these things and exploring them for yourself. Now, when it comes to the act of actually working out, looking back now, I am genuinely so surprised I even worked out as much as I did, because it is a no-brainer to me that I was about to quit. This is such a big takeaway for me, and something that I want to say right off the bat, which is if you're actually trying really, really hard at something and you're failing at it, listen, like there's something wrong. And I wish I would have sensed this sooner. For context, let me try to explain what a workout session would look like for me. I would go to the gym and I'd maybe try to do a bit of cardio, which I really, really hated. I'd get super tired very fast. I didn't like to do kind of weight exercises because I knew that my form would probably be very off, which would potentially harm me, but even worse, embarrass me if people were to see. If someone was using a machine that I wanted to use, I would just get really uncomfortable and kind of awkward, just feel really awkward standing around and basically try to fumble about trying little things here and there and then just leave and go home. And it was really hard for me to get a half-hour proper workout in. And just the whole experience was really, really terrible. I would feel good only because I'd done it, but I knew that what I'd done was really poor and I just had a terrible time. What was I doing genuinely? If I can get across one thing in this video, this is the magic of structured variety. The more you know exactly what you are going to be doing before you go to the gym, where everything is planned out and structured and set, the better that workout is going to be. You need to have a plan. Do not introduce chaos and randomness into the actual workout process. I'm going to talk about where to generate this randomness later, but do not go to the gym not knowing what you're going to do. It's like you're at a massive supermarket shopping for food for another family of 8 people when you don't even know what they like to eat. You have no clue. You don't know where to start. It takes ages. It's so mentally draining. It's so confusing. It's so difficult. It's just not going to happen. When I first saw my exercise list, I'm not gonna lie, I kind of panicked. I'd never done anything so organized before, and knowing how chaotic I am, I don't know if I would enjoy it. But that first session was the best session I had ever had. So basically what I had was the amount of minutes or seconds that I would do an exercise, how many reps, how many weights, how many sets of it, how much pause between sets. And I just press play and then I start doing the workout following everything on my phone. And I like to use my phone for this. You can also use your watch, but I like to really use my phone because I get to see the actual exercise and what my body is supposed to be doing and check my form at the same time. So I can follow along without needing to Google something or check something somewhere else or kind of doubt myself the whole time. And I am just following along. There's nothing going on in my head or in my mind and no stress apart from just showing up and doing the thing. When I say my anxiety around exercising just disappeared when all the cognitive load and stress of how to do something was gone and I was just doing the thing, it was transformative. I do not know how I thought it would be possible for me to make smart decisions and choices and kind of learn how to exercise from absolutely nowhere, having no information or experience in my mind by myself. Obviously that was going to be a disaster. Your level of input on this planning, I'm sure, depends on your initial starting point, but as someone with no instinct and no experience, no knowledge and no insight into what I needed, this just changed everything. It was everything I didn't know. And beyond a very clear, very set, very organized, very structured, following your goals routine for your exercise on a daily basis, the next level to making this amazing is to introduce personalized variety. Because I'm still a chaotic person at heart, and as much as I enjoy exercising, I don't think I could do 2 sessions that were the same because I would get bored. And this is where the variety comes in. Not only do I always alternate, so I have an upper leg day and a lower leg day, and I now have these full workouts 4 days a week, and then the rest of the days I will do yoga and other kind of calmer exercises. But on my 4 heavy weight workout days, I will do upper leg day, lower leg day, upper leg day, lower leg day again, but then also I will have a different set of exercises every single time. So Candace has like personalized all of my exercises, so they're always very, very different. And even though I might be working out the same muscle, it's always a different set, a different combination, a different style. So they remain highly, highly variable and different. So I'm excited to see what I'm doing every single time. And also because they're personalized to me, and at the end of every session, I will text her. I've been texting Candace daily, basically for a month and a half, but I will text her what I enjoyed, what I didn't enjoy, what I found surprisingly easier or surprisingly harder. I will always try to change the weights and the reps and push myself to do more. But the benefit is that the experience is always really, really personalized, and personalized risk and personalized health experience has been shown by studies to be highly effective. There was a big study done in Finland where people were given personalized health information and personalized risk scores for themselves, and they actioned this a lot more than national random statistics. So this is where I found things to be really different. I find following along with classes or things not just a bit boring because they get repetitive, but more important, they're not done for me. Having someone who knows me personally as a person with my quirks and my fears and desires and my goals and needs and the things that I enjoy and the things that I don't enjoy, like dynamic exercises, which I could trip and fall because I'm super clumsy and I don't like to do in public because I get embarrassed, but also how I push myself and what motivates me. So helpful. I get this perfectly customized way to work towards my goals for an hour and a bit. And it seems obvious now that I would enjoy it, but given my history, I genuinely didn't think that I would. Just a note here, if you're also looking for external input, Copilot is a lot cheaper than other alternatives. In-person personal training tends to cost so much more. It's around 70 to 90 pounds per session at the gym that I currently go to, which is why I've never bought the services. But I still get daily contact, basically 24 hours, 6 days a week, and customization and personalization for everything that I'm doing. Next, I'm going to talk about creating routines as a chaotic person, which genuinely has not even felt like creating a routine this time around for some reason. But I have two main pieces of advice. The first one is the hill that I will die on, which is you absolutely can have an effective workout in the evening. You know the example I had in the beginning of the video? I've wanted that so bad. I have this dream in my mind that a healthy person just wakes up early, goes on a run, has a nice long shower, has this healthy breakfast that they cook with orange juice, and then they get ready and go to work. And that's just been my imaginary life of health that I always wanted to achieve. The reality is very different. I am not a morning person. I wake up at 9 if I can, and I am groggy and miserable, and my brain is working at a third of the speed. I am so stiff and unmotivated to do everything. It takes so long for me to get into my day. But I have these random spikes of energy at 7, 8, 9 p.m. and that's the ideal time for me to work out. I've been working out in the evenings and it's been absolutely fine. There's nothing magical about morning workout. So I would say if you want to have a specific day that you know that you want to do some movement in, do it when you feel like it on the day. And having that flexibility rather than setting something in stone is super helpful. You know your body, you know when's the best time for you to work out. Listen to that. And don't try to change everything. Don't try to be like a morning person and a gym bunny in the same time. That's not going to work. It's going to be miserable. So pick your battles, pick one. And for me, evening workouts, 10 out of 10. It's great. Funnily enough, I do enjoy yoga in the mornings, but that's the only thing that I would be willing to do when I wake up. The second main piece of advice for enjoying something frequently is introduce variation. No 2 sessions the same. Mix it up. Mix up your goals, mix up your routines, mix up the things that you are doing. I know that there are people that enjoy running. I still don't get that, but I could not do the same thing again every day. Can't do it. So try to find different exercises. Next thing really helpful for routines is accountability. Everyone in my life knows Candace by name and they know that she does so much for me. I do not want to disappoint this woman. So even if I'm really, really exhausted on a certain day, or very often I lose track of time and I'm like, oh my God, the gym closes in an hour and a half. How am I going to get there? People know that I will show up even just for that. And that's been really, really helpful. Having someone in your life that you are embarrassed to say that you haven't done something, pick someone like that so you're not fully comfortable with them, and have them keep you accountable if you can for working out is super helpful. The last piece of advice I have for keeping a routine is try to not make things painfully painful. So when it comes to working out, I love being up in a workout and the pain that I have later is just blissful. It's so good because I know that I am growing in a certain direction, and when I've rested those muscles properly, the feeling that I have right before my upper body day or right before my leg day is so great. What I mean by painfully painful is not knowing what you're doing, but also not knowing how to do the things. Small things like doing a set of something without the weights to show your body how to do the exercise. And in my case, I do have videos of all the exercises I'm supposed to do as they're happening. So I get used to them. Sometimes for some, I don't need to see things anymore. For others, I really do. Lastly, I have the more Elizabeth specific advice, which either will be completely unhelpful and irrelevant or be completely life-changing as it's been for me. So this is a 50-50 one. The first one being, it's actually quite fun to work out alone. If you're a bit kind of socially awkward, or on the other end, if you go with someone you're very close to, you just end up chatting and not actually working out as much. I feel a lot better and in my own space when I do my workouts, and I generally enjoy it more to doing classes or to doing things with other things. Very rarely I will go to the gym with someone, but 99% of the time I will do it by myself, and it feels absolutely fine. A huge pair of headphones on, and you can just ignore the world and do your thing and kind of forget that there's even anyone else there. And the second one, and this is quite a big one for me, is have a mental space that you go to when you are doing your workouts. And I really mean this. It really helps me, especially when I do yoga. This is something that I genuinely do, is that I have a place. So I almost dissociate, where I have this scenario, and I would recommend doing something like this. It can be a place that you've been to before, that you've been really calm, or that you've kind of seen in a movie, or a remix of various different things that you've seen, and just create this. I have this place where it has a smell, it has a feeling, it is a certain space, and there are certain people there, or there's no one there, and I just go there every time when I'm in yoga, and it feels genuinely like such an escape from reality, and it makes me really, really, really enjoy the experience. I still do have some intrusive thoughts, and I think of, what's happening around me, or what I've forgotten to do or need to do, but for the most part, it really makes the exercising a true escape from the daily craziness of life, and that's very, very helpful. With my more intense workouts, I do tend to just put on a fictional book and do that while I'm working out. It used to be really intense music. Surprisingly, on these organized workouts, I enjoy music a lot less, and I think I'm finally kind of in my space, which is crazy. These sound small, but they really enhance the experience of working out, where it's a proper escape from reality for me, and I crave the physical feeling and the mental escape equally. So that's really, really helpful. And the last small thing is breathing is super important. I'm a quite anxious person, and first of all, my resting heart rate is something like 90, but also my breathing, I feel like I'm a natural shallow hyperventilator, where my breathing is like all the time. That's bad. And very quickly during exercise, I can't keep that up. So I've tried intentionally to breathe a lot deeper. I tend to do this in yoga, but also just during the day. But even when I'm anxious, it's very helpful. Box breathing, look it up, really great. It really helps expand that lung space. And even though I fall back to my baseline during the day, after exercise for a really long time, I'm just like a lot physically calmer, and I can breathe a lot deeper, which is absolutely great. This is my favorite part of videos, because if you're still here, I know there's a lot fewer of us, and a lot of people who will have clicked on this video will not get to this part. But I feel that only after I've made my case and explained things properly can I actually genuinely state how much I adore, and how much this app has completely changed my life. Honestly, Copilot and Candice have single-handedly been one of the biggest positive influences when it comes to my body and my physical life. My body and my moving is such a genuinely touchy subject for me, and it's wrapped up with so much guilt and shame and embarrassment that I could not believe genuinely that anything could have impacted it so significantly, so quickly, and so lastingly before. It's genuinely been incredible. And when I hear statistics like over 75% of people who are actually using Copilot after 100 days are still exercising, which makes them 9 times more likely to stick to their goals, it does not surprise me one single bit. And there has been nothing that I have downloaded on my phone, watched on the internet, been told before, been advised before, been shown before, that has impacted my physical health more than this. It's been life-changing. I truly say it with my whole heart that I am so grateful that this whole thing came my way, and it is one of the biggest positive influences that I have had because of starting this YouTube channel. So it's been absolutely incredible. The 2 weeks are absolutely free. Please, please try it. I hope the things that I have mentioned can help you make the most out of that time with your personal trainer. Ask them the questions, make your plans, kind of think of things the way that you want to, and hopefully this can really, even in that short amount of time, have some difference and some change to the way that you approach working out in general, if that is still something that you're interested in. And as I said, this is starting to become a really important part of my life. So if you have any specific questions or anything that you want me to talk about, please put them down below, because I'm thinking of making, maybe if I have the time and the chance, a whole series of deep dives on why we exercise at all, why is it so difficult to go to the gym, why people stop exercising, what is it about the whole industry, what is necessary, what's the minimum amount that's effective, and what's the maximum, and what is too much, and all of this stuff. I'm so curious to talk more about it and to learn more about it myself. So please do let me know. If you made it so far, thank you so much for spending this time with me. I hope you have a wonderful rest of your day. Be kind to yourself and others, and don't believe everything you think. Thanks. Bye.